So the judge says you've been working hard. Not hard enough. Get back to work. Welcome back to Law and Crime. Michael Bryant here. We're continuing verdict watch for the trial against Karen Read. As you know, the jury had basically a statement for the court saying, hey, we can't come to a decision. She's accused of murdering her boyfriend, John O'Keefe, and leaving him to die in the snow on January 29th, 2022. Now, you could be thinking, is this maybe they're tied, hooked up on the second-degree murder issue? Is it vehicular manslaughter? What really are they wrestling with? Well, they got a lot of things to deal with here in terms of the evidence, the witnesses, and then so many charges, each one of them having a certain nuance. So is it they can't find the evidence they need, or did they think the sloppy police cover-up is a problem? So what we have to remember is the jury, and I bet my life that they're continuing to chat about this. The judge said take a break, lunch is coming, clear your head, get back to it. They're talking about this case. How could they not be at this point in the process? So just my take on it, the deliberations, formal or informal, are continuing, and they will pick up some steam after they get a little bit of lunch. So let's continue to listen to the closing arguments we've been recapping for you here. Let's go back to court.
Ladies and gentlemen, there was a cover-up in this case, plain and simple. You'll surely say to yourself, I don't want to believe it. I don't want to believe that could happen in our community. But sadly, over the past 8 weeks, you've seen it right before your eyes. So how does a cover-up happen? How could that happen? Well, let's count the ways, shall we? Handpick your investigator. Make sure it's someone we know, someone on our side. Keep him close. Offer him help. Offer him a gift. Have secret friends and family meetings. Get your story straight. Delete your call history. Make mysterious phone calls at 2:22 a.m. Delete Google searches. Monitor police activity. Get rid of evidence. Get rid of your dog. Destroy your phones. Destroy your SIM card. For the investigator, decide on a narrative early on. Don't go to the crime scene. Don't take witnesses in for questioning. Question all the witnesses together. Ignore witnesses who don't fit your narrative. Allow friends and family to contact those same witnesses. Don't record interviews. Write vague and false police reports. Omit witnesses' names. Omit witnesses' interviews altogether. Don't photograph the evidence. Don't conduct any forensics. Don't document the evidence. Don't document the logs. Don't create any logs whatsoever, and don't maintain a chain of custody. Keep all the evidence in the hands of one person, and then manipulate that evidence, including videos. Don't turn over videos. Invert videos. Turn 4:16 p.m. into 5:30 p.m. in affidavits. Turn 3 pieces of taillight into 5 pieces of taillight. Delete 42 minutes of surveillance footage. Hide personal relationships. Make this case cut and dry, and ensure the homeowner, quote, never sees any But most importantly, pick your patsy and pin it on the girl. It's not that it could happen. It's that every single one of those things I just mentioned did happen right in front of you. But this sort of injustice can't happen in a vacuum. So what about the prosecution? What about the Commonwealth? What does it look like when the government picks a narrative and then tries to form a prosecution around the narrative instead of the other way around? Looks a lot like this. If you don't have actual evidence, just throw every single thing you can against the wall to see what sticks. Drag her through the mud and make sure you attack her character. And that's what you saw in this case. The Commonwealth spent much of their time and resources trying to vilify Karen Read. They desperately resorted to calling witnesses to talk about Karen Read and John O'Keefe's arguments. They even stooped so low as to call the children and put them through this ordeal. All to say that John sometimes got upset because Karen was too kind, too nice, spoiled them too much. Their arguments illustrated what anybody could imagine is a normal set of ups and downs for any couple. Even on January 28th, they talked it out, they communicated, they worked out their issues, and they had a nice, affectionate evening out with their friends. And you don't have to take my word for it. Pull the tape, as they say. Look at the videos. C.F. McCarthy, Waterfall. What are the words that every single person who testified in this case used about Karen Read and John O'Keefe that night. Getting along, no issues, good mood, happy, affectionate, even lovey-dovey. No issues, no toxicity. They were a loving couple right up until the time Karen Read dropped him off and he walked into 34 Fairview. If an argument with a loved one is a motive for murder, folks, we're all in trouble.
So there's the defense closing argument. Remember, in Massachusetts, they start with the defense, and then the prosecution is really the last word. They don't do a rebuttal for the prosecution. So anyway, the jury got that. They're chewing on it. About 19 plus hours now of deliberation. And that's, I remember the Scott Peterson case, it was about 19 plus before they came to their decision. So Catherine Lizardo is still here with me. Catherine, let's talk about some of the evidence they may be hung up on, okay? I know I'm hung up on this. You know, I can't use this thing enough. The question for me is really one of less is more. I don't know that I need to hear all of the different, you know, the pieces of the taillight that were found in all the different. All I need to see is the video of that vehicle. It looks a lot like this. It backs up and it taps John O'Keefe's car when she's leaving at 5+ a.m. the morning after she's dropped him off. And we see from a very tight shot on that video, the wheel of O'Keefe's car move. So any suggestion that she didn't actually contact his vehicle is ridiculous. You can see she does. Okay, so what does that mean, Catherine? Now we see that there's a crack on that taillight, right? A crack. Maybe even a piece missing if you look at it closely. But you don't see the kind of destruction that this jury has been told by the prosecution happened as a result of striking John O'Keefe. I rest that part of my case. Is this a bigger deal than I'm making it?
Well, I think the jury is also grappling with that because they can use their common sense as part of the jury deliberation. And here, during their 4-day deliberation so far, the two questions they've asked is, one, the police report. They wanted to see the police report from the first search on January 29 that revealed the first piece of broken taillight. The judge answered, no, you can't see the police report. So they had to go back and deliberate without that. And then the second question they had was, can we ask for the CERT report? SERT, and that stands for Special Emergency Response Team Report. And that report is related also to the evidence that were discovered, such as the broken taillight, the one sneaker shoe of O'Keefe that was separated or found away from his body when they discovered him. So for me, my speculation is they're trying to figure out how and when those broken taillight evidence were discovered and wanted to know more. But we know that the request for the CERT report was denied because neither the Commonwealth or the defense introduced it as an evidence at trial. So evidence is closed now. They can't request any new evidence at this point.
And they did not enter it into evidence, primarily because it contained things that were irrelevant or were hearsay or were causing more problems than the document might have helped this jury. And if it's not going to help the jury, it's not going to be coming in either before, during, or in this case, after the close of evidence. So we're going to take a break here. The jury is not, though. I mean, you know, they got some lunch coming here in a few minutes. And then the judge said, you got to get back to your deliberations. 19 hours or so, not enough. We think you've done some fine work. We need more. Let's take a break. We'll come back more out of the Karen Read case in Massachusetts after this.